When Lars Mittank scaled that 8-foot barbed wire fence, he didn't hesitate. He plunged into a sea of sunflowers that stood nearly 6 feet tall, high enough to swallow a man whole. Beyond that field lay the A2 highway and miles of dense, unforgiving Bulgarian forest. It was 10 in the morning, under a bright July sun. Yet Lars vanished without a single witness seeing where he went. He ran into the sunflowers and became a ghost. The search that followed was one of the most intensive in European history. Private investigators, German authorities, and local police combed the woods with thermal cameras, drones, and bloodhounds. They found nothing. No scrap of his yellow t-shirt, no discarded shoe, no disturbed earth. It was as if he had evaporated the moment he left the camera's view. So, what could have driven him to such a desperate act? The theories are as haunting as the footage. Some believe Lars suffered a rare psychotic reaction to his medication, cefuroxime, which can cause extreme paranoia. In his mind, the airport wasn't a gate to home, it was a trap. This theory suggests his fear was entirely internal, a terrifying delusion that forced him to flee from an imaginary threat. The men he spoke of weren't real. They were phantoms created by a chemical imbalance in his brain. He wasn't running from danger. He was running from himself. But others point to the men Lars mentioned in his final, frantic phone calls to his mother. He told her they wouldn't let him fly, wouldn't let him leave. This raises a much darker possibility. Did Lars witness something he shouldn't have in the dark streets of Varna? A criminal deal, a violent act, something that made him a target for a very real-life pursuit? In this version of events, the men were not phantoms. They were hunters, and Lars was their prey. The airport doctor's office wasn't a safe haven. It was a temporary dead end before he made his final, desperate escape. For over a decade, tips have poured in from across the globe. Sightings of a man with no memory, living as a transient, keep the hope alive for his mother, Sandra. She refuses to believe the sunflower field was his final resting place, maintaining a digital lighthouse for his son who never returned from vacation. Is Lars Mittank living a new life with a shattered mind? Or did he succumb to the elements in a forest that refuses to give up its secrets? To this day, he remains a digital ghost, a man whose final act was a desperate sprint into the unknown. The sunflowers have bloomed and died 12 times since Lars ran. The truth is still out there,